G'day rankers, welcome back. Everyone's got AI tools now, they're everywhere and you're probably using them. If you're not, you should be. And case in point is we're getting a lot of clients now putting their sites into tools like ChatGPT, Claude and all that sort of stuff and coming back with reports for us, which is great. That's what they should be doing. What they lack though is context and sometimes an understanding of how the tool works. So case in point, we got a report this week from a client and I encourage all my clients to do this, by the way, because over a year ago, I got my whole team to do it for our existing clients because we wanted to see what the AI chat bots were saying about client sites, what they could and couldn't see. And so we know a lot of the pitfalls that these reports have. And for this one, it was about a 27% failure rate, which is pretty good because that means there's 73% of stuff that we can use. But the things that it picked up that weren't true was that it had a Christmas sale banner and a few other things. But basically it was looking at cached or stale versions of the site. And the other thing it didn't pick up at all and suggested we should implement was chat, which was already on the site. And you could get more sophisticated with the prompts for these sorts of reports to get past a lot of that stuff, which is great. You can do that. And there's a million other tools that can help you get these sorts of reports out. But what it comes down to is what else is happening on the site? Do these reports that you're generating have a larger understanding of what's happening with the business, for instance? Have some of these things that these tools are suggesting been tried before? Have new changes just gone live from another report that someone else did? So all of this leads to me thinking there needs to be this human layer, right? We've always said keep a human in the loop. So where is that human layer in your organization? For our clients, they've probably got their own internal processes, but certainly we will provide that layer. And we see that as our job because you've got to test these things that the AI suggests. You've got to measure the results, obviously, and you've got to have some sort of knowledge base to fall back on to say, yeah, I can see why it would suggest that, but that's probably not a good idea. This is what we should do instead. Because you need someone who knows how to understands how the tools work and the mistakes that they can make, but also understands the opportunities, but also what's happening in the larger business organization, what's happening in other departments. Are other things being changed? Has the brand voice changed because of these AI changes? All of that sort of stuff comes into account. Also, have some of these changes already been tried in the past? Does your, AI hero understand that, this doesn't work on other sites? It's been tried, it's a known myth, just don't try it, stuff like that. And that person should be able to go, yes, this is what we need to focus on, because they're going to be having, 20 different reports from 20 different, stakeholders who have an interest in getting their find or whatever that was placed on the page so they can see it there and they know it's working. And we're working that into all of our processes now, as well as looking at ways that we can do a lot of these changes at scale, and we're building that into SCORE as I speak. And yes, Hermes is chunking away on it. And these are things that are changing the way that we work. And I think if you're in an e-commerce business or any business really, you need to look at these things with an understanding of we have got the best advisors available to us, but they don't know everything about my business. And you should always give the best new tool to the best operator. So the best paintbrush, give it to the best painter. So whoever that is in your organization, make sure they're across all these tools, using all the tools, understanding context of what these tools might miss, but also the opportunities that they provide. How do they dovetail into other things that you're working on as well? Because there is lots and lots of information now, and what becomes of value is not knowing what you can implement, it's what you should implement. And that's where, if you don't have someone in the organization, make sure your agency is across that. As I've said before, every staff member, every team member has an instance of Claude Code that is designed just for their role. So everything that we do is with that sort of filter. So, and it will come back and it will tell us stuff that is wrong and we don't want to use, and we'll tell it. And it will learn from that over time, because our instances of Claude Code have a memory, so they understand. And just on that, have a look at what's happening in Shopify this week. SimGen's been rolled out to a whole bunch of stores right now, free of charge, and you can go and do these tests using this simulator of, I guess, they're virtual agents that go and shop on your site like a human would. And what I'm pleased to say is that a lot of the advice that they're bringing out in Shopify for the clients that we've looked at anyway is the sort of advice we've been giving out for the last 10 years really, when it comes to the user experience, because we know what moves the needle. In fact, I can remember having a conversation with someone from Shopify about probably 10 years ago now about this exact thing about speed to purchase, that the easier you make it to buy, then the more people will buy. Average order value goes up when you make it easier to purchase. So it's all these little things that you've got to take into account when you're looking at the recommendations that are coming from AI. Quite often it's in isolation. It won't know the bigger picture even on the whole site, let alone what the organization might be planning on doing. Hopefully that's helpful. If you've got any questions or if you'd like to test SCORE for WordPress, we're rolling that out on a couple of client sites now, let me know. I'm looking for feedback. And I will see you next week. Thanks very much. Always remember to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for all the comments, and we will see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.